I'll have to say that if you haven't been reading Radiant Black or even heard of it, you're missing out. And shamefully, I'm about a year and change late in catching up. They're already at issue 34. Here in more podcasts, I don't do this too often, and I should do it more often, but I just want to talk about Radiant Black. If you are a fan of any sort of Super Sentai, Power Rangers, Ultraman, some sort of transformation series, I think this is more on your level. So we wanted to introduce us to Radiant Black, aka Nathan Burnett. He is a 30-year-old broke and stuck. And if you look at his funds, we're looking at $30,000 in debt. How bad would that be if you're $30,000 in the hole and you're stuck in an Uber driver? He was once a promising writer, but he's now moving back to his parents in Lockport, Illinois, tail stuck between his legs. To make it meet, again, he becomes an Uber driver, picking up the drinks, dodging debt collectors, and not trying to drown in disappointment. Sounds like the life. But there's one bright spot, and that's going to come in his best friend, Marshall, Nathan's childhood best friend. He's loud, he's sarcastic, he's fiercely loyal, and he's the guy who will joke around about your failures and basically help you to try to survive them. Basically telling you, listen, you're not washed, you're just in a prequel arc. And one night, they're walking home, stumbling across a floating, glowing object in the woods, and it's not from this planet. So Nathan touches it, reality bends, gravity shifts, and next thing you know, he's in a high-tech suit, and he becomes the new Radiant Black. And the disembodied voice tells him, you're not the first. But he doesn't get long to figure things out, because not far from there's someone else who's already active. Actually, it's a second Radiant, Radiant Red. And Radiant Red is violent and dangerous, and not playing of the hero. So when Radiant Red returns, Nathan gets in a pretty brutal wake-up call. It wasn't even a contest, as a matter of fact. If you read this issue, Radiant Black, he thinks he's ready, but he's not. Red owns him, smashing through concrete, yanking him through the air, leaving Nathan battered and pretty much humbled. So it was a pretty harsh lesson that being Radiant Black isn't about power, it's about responsibility, and Nathan has a steep learning curve. But still, Nathan and Marshall, his best friend, they know he needs one thing, and every one thing that hero needs is a name. You gotta have a name, man. Something that fits, something cool. Well, what about Radiant Black? Radiant Black sounds like a cosmic band. I kinda like it. And just like that, Radiant Black, he's born. Name as much about Nathan's powers as the mystery behind the actual suit itself. But Nathan's still very much an everyday hero, despite his powers, trying to find his way. And I can really connect to this. I'm more of an everyday hero sort of guy, so when I see someone changing others' tires, I can kind of connect to that. You don't know him, but just doing a good thing for somebody else, that's always a nice thing to do. He stayed with the driver, called the tow truck, and then helped however he could, so respect to that. It's not glamorous, but it's still real. And that's the kind of hero that Nathan is, doing what he can every small step at a time. But Radiant Black, circling back, he's not just a villain. There's actually more to the story. And as a matter of fact, as we later find out, there's actually more Radiants out there. So as Nathan struggles to control his powers, Marshall explains a pretty crucial truth, that his powers are actually tied to how he feels. The stronger emotion, the stronger the radiant energy that he can wield. So joy and anger and feel and hope, fear and hope, all that feed on the suit directly. So this means that Nathan's connection isn't just physical, but it's emotional. So to grow stronger, Nathan has to understand himself more. So Nathan has time to regroup, learning to control his powers, control his emotions, and leaning on Marshall and his own determination. But again, Radiant Red isn't finished. So this fight escalates through the city pretty much around 2, and it tears through buildings and massive explosions of powers. And in the chaos, Nathan is wounded, critically. And like a huge twist, our hero, Radiant Black, is killed. But with Nathan gone, Marshall is left devastated but still determined, so the radiant orb that activated his powers activates again and chooses Marshall. So suddenly, the mantle of Radiant Black passes to Marshall, and his best friend, who's still less polished but fiercely loyal and still wild. So Marshall is no longer the sidekick, he's the main character. Radiant Red wastes no power, returning to a brutal showdown, and the fight explodes across the cities, across the streets, the buildings, and trembling under their attacks. And Marshall's a lot different. See, Marshall fights dirty. Marshall throws punches with reckless abandon, using every trick from street fights to desperate moves, while Red fights with precision and fury. Marshall is more raw, the refusal to back down and give him the edge. Their battle levels half a city block, but eventually Marshall hits the decisive strike, forcing Red to retreat in frustration. Marshall is victorious, but still devastated. Marshall tries to catch his breath. The very fabric of reality seems to falter. He just lost his best friend. But even with that, chaos emerges. Here comes three more figures: Radiant Black, Radiant Yellow, and a strange corrupted entity known as the Glitch. Radiant Pink moves with a calm precision. Her powers are seemingly tied to empathy and connection, and is a little opposite from what's happening around her. Yellow is raw power and intensity, and his powers is electrifying and unpredictable. And then there's Glitch, and Glitch is a little bit different, because Glitch is wrapped in static, warping reality wherever he steps. It doesn't speak, but is more a presence that threatens everything around him. So there's more questions than answers, and Marshall, still reeling from his fight, fighting almost like a juggernaut like Radiant Red, still has a lot to get over. So in just 5 issues, Radiant Black just went from a wild ride, from a struggling writer's unexpected transformation to fierce battles that shake the very city, the rise of a new hero ready to fight back. We've seen friendships tested, powers tied to emotions, mysterious new Radiants stepping onto the stage, and each bringing their own secrets and challenges. So this is just the beginning. I haven't read all of them yet. I just had to cover the first 5 because I was really interested. I wouldn't even call this an indie issue, so to speak, but let me know what you guys think, because Nathan's legacy still lives on through Marshall, and there's new Radiants rising. The universe of Radiant Black, it promises us something bigger coming. And this is all by Kyle Higgins, so please, if you're a big fan, please follow him. I'm huge into this. If you want a deeper dive, and hit the subscribe button, ring the bell. We'll explore next time with Austin and Sean. Thanks for watching, and listen, stay radiant, guys. Peace.